How's it going? I'm Matt Thorpe. I'm the host of the Southern Wesleyan University Coaches Show. Today we have head coach of the baseball team, Mike Gillespie. How's it going, Mike?
Well,
glad to have you here. Mike, can you give us some sort of season update on how this season's gone for you guys? Though your record might not have shown that you guys have been able to compete very strong with Conference Carolinas, you have a very young team. So can you give us an idea how you've been able to grow and work through some adversity?
Mm-hmm. You're right, we do have a very young team. We were just over the weekend playing Mount Olive, who's nationally ranked, and looked out there and we had 5 sophomores and a freshman. And so it's been an opportunity. The season has been a little disappointing in terms of wins and losses. We thought coming in that we would be able to compete maybe a little better early on, but we really dealt with inconsistency throughout the year. Just haven't been scoring enough runs. Pitching and defense has been there at times. But it's been a learning process for us. First year being eligible for postseason play, Conference Carolinas, like you mentioned. But the guys have continued to work hard. We understand what our goals are. Our goals are still obtainable. We've kind of put ourselves behind the 8 ball a little bit in reaching those, but they are still obtainable. So we have a great senior class. We're kind of young and old. It's a unique mixture that we have with 7 seniors. But our senior class has been great with leadership and also molding the younger guys in terms of what it means to play a baseball season. You know, we call it the grind, we call it a marathon, and it is. And it's a game designed for failure. So we've just been working with that consistency from day to day and trying to reach our goals at the end of the season.
So you mentioned your goals. What are some of those specific goals that you had for the team?
Well, obviously we want to make postseason play. The past 2 years, a lot of our guys have not had the opportunity for postseason play with the transition to NCAA. But now going in every year, that's our goal. We've had some success in postseason in the past, and so we want to get back to that, to where postseason play isn't just something that happens every once in a while. It's something that we go into the year expecting to get the highest possible seed we can for postseason tournaments.
Awesome. Well, so towards the end of the season, you've got the Daniels Day. It's the Alexander Disease Awareness. What is that? What does that mean to the team, and what exactly is that day meant? What is it about? Okay,
actually it's going to be a huge celebration. It's going to be Alumni Day. The night before, we're going to celebrate our seniors and what they've had, the success they've had as well. And it's also our 3rd annual Kids Day of the season. So Daniel's Day is Daniel Hughes. He'll be actually turning 7 in April, and he's the younger brother of Justin Brew, who's one of our senior outfielders. We actually had an event last year, and it went over really well. He was diagnosed with Alexander disease when he was about 2.5. Right now, there's not much testing. There are no known cures, and unfortunately, the life expectancy is about 8 to 10 years of age for the type of disease that he has. And he's a wonderful young boy, and he loves baseball, he loves tractors, he loves monster trucks. And so what it is, it's an opportunity for us to just make that day special for him. We bring him out, we're trying to get it lined up, coming out in a truck or some type of tractor, which he likes. We paint the field with his name on it. We actually last year got King University involved, and ironically we just came back from there a couple of weekends ago, and the head coach was asking about Daniel. It really touched the lives of some of their players as well. We were able to have some bracelets, and he said some of the guys are still wearing the rubber bracelets there for Alexander disease. But it's just a great opportunity to make one day really special for Daniel. He gets a chance to come up a couple of weekends during the spring. He was up a couple of weekends ago and got to come into our clubhouse. The guys all know him. He'll go around and give them high fives. So it's a real special day for everyone, not just Daniel.
Well, it's a neat opportunity for your team to really be a servant to somebody who might not have that opportunity later in life. Mm-hmm. So, well, let's move into our player spotlight. We've got a couple players we want to focus on. Julio Justo and John Garrett both have been making impacts with their bats. What have they brought to the team as a junior and as a sophomore? How have they impacted the team as leaders?
Julio has come on as late. He struggled early on in the season, much like most of our hitters were, and then we're able to kind of step back, get back to some fundamentals, and he kind of changed his swing up a little bit. And there was about a 2-3 week period where he was the guy we wanted up at the plate. when the game was on the line. And he had some really good games against some conference schools, some non-conference schools as well. And so he was able to, be that bat that we needed in the middle of the lineup to drive some runners in. It's been very effective for us. John has played really well defensively at shortstop, and he's kind of come on late with a hot bat as well. Consistency is the one thing we talked about earlier that we've really struggled with this year. For about a 4-week period, those two guys were probably the most consistent hitters that we had in our lineup. We've had other guys that had a good week or two or a couple of games, but really battled with consistency. So it's been good to have those two guys. John defensively playing shortstop up the middle, again, has been a benefit for us. Pitchers like to build a pitch to contact and have faith in the fielders behind them, and that's been helpful as well.
And it shows that they've been consistent since they're the two leading hitters on your team when it comes to average. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty neat to see as they've grown throughout the season. When it comes to pitching, you've got a couple guys that are making impacts. Jarrett Joyner, he's a freshman, 20 innings pitched and a 2.25 ERA. How has he made that transition from high school to college? What does that look like for him?
He's done very well. Only 20 innings, but he comes in at the back end of our bullpen. He's either coming in as a setup guy or most recently he's been coming in to close some games out. And he's done a really good job. He really has. He's faced some of the best competition, and there'll be times where he'll come in on the weekend, Friday night, and we'll need him to come back on Saturday. So even though the innings pitched, his appearances and games pitched is up there. So he's been very beneficial for us. He made the transition from high school. He was an early signee for us as well. So he made the transition to high school really well. He brings in some good velocity, but his off-speed is what makes him the good pitcher that he is.
And then Mike Batten has 61 innings pitched. He's got 8 Ks for every 9 innings. And he's leading your team with 3 wins. How does he step up as a leader when it comes to your starting pitchers?
Mike has done a really good job maturing, not only on the field but off the field as well. He's a redshirt sophomore. He didn't have any innings for us last year. He got a medical redshirt, so that was good for him in hindsight, being able to kind of sit, watch, learn, grow, get stronger, get smarter from a pitching standpoint. And so he's been our Friday night guy. He's had some really good games. He's pitched well against some of the best competition in our league. And got some wins against some of the teams also. But I think for Mike, the biggest thing, he has great stuff. He's got electric stuff on the mound. But the biggest thing for him is just the maturity level and gaining that confidence from his freshman year up until now, redshirt sophomore season.
So looking forward to next year, we mentioned 7 seniors you guys are losing. You've got 22 freshmen and sophomore. What does that mean to lose those seniors but also to build leaders for next year? How does that look right now?
I think it would be scary if we didn't have such a good leadership from our senior class. I was thinking the other day with these seniors, all of them but 2 have been here all 4 years. 2 of them were transfers, and they've been great. We haven't had any issues. Leadership on the field, leadership off the field. They've done a really great job in mentoring the freshmen and the sophomores. So I think that in itself, they're going to leave kind of a legacy going forward. They're just not leaving us at the end of the spring season from a baseball standpoint. What they've been able to do the last couple of years as upperclassmen, and specifically this year as seniors, has been really good. And I think that's what's going to help us continue making the transition to NCAA. It's tough for freshmen and sophomores to come in and be expected to play. There's such a huge difference and a huge gap from playing high school to playing Division II baseball. Mm-hmm. But our senior class has done a really good job in helping them make that transition, make it a little bit smoother.
So what does recruiting look like for next year and for future years? Are you recruiting specific positions or a specific type of player? What does that look like? We
have 4 position players that are seniors, and they're all outfielders. So obviously outfield is a key. We've got to bring in some outfielders that we feel like can come in and kind of make an immediate impact. So we're looking in the junior college ranks for those guys. You're always recruiting pitching. You can never have enough good pitching. So that's another area that's just kind of a norm that you go at. But we also want to work on some corner infielders. Really, if you can be strong up the middle in the game of baseball, catcher, middle infield, center fielder, if you can recruit those positions, a lot of times they're athletic enough to move them around. But right now, outfield and pitching is something that we really need to continue to address.
Well, thank you, Coach, for coming out and giving us an idea of what baseball's been going through this year. We wish you the best of luck the rest of the season and look forward to seeing you guys compete.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us. Be sure to catch us next time on the Southern Wesleyan University Coaches Show.